grab it.
Sure, actually, I'm like about to go live.
Cool. Well, I'm very excited
Hello,
to talk about
everyone.
this.
It's done. The longest event in the history of pro wrestling is done. I'm with Tucker.
I want to die.
Do you know?
Yeah.
You're not allowed to die. Not until we talk about it. It's a little bit. So what did you think of the show?
Oh, geez. We started off real hot. We got hotter. And then we nosedived into the fucking ground. And then the Daniel Bryan match happened. And then we nosedived into the fucking ground.
Go on.
How so? What do you want me to say?
Explain.
Explain? What the hell do you mean explain? I explained it, did I not? Explain why the show fell apart?
Yes.
Because it was 7 hours long, and nothing on God's green earth.
7, I think.
Nothing on God or whatever deity.
Definitely longer than 7.
Whatever deity you choose to worship, nothing should be that long. Ever.
I was really close to being down with it. And then it just, like, the last hour. If they had structured the card better, it probably would have been fine. But Baron Corbin, Kurt Angle, and Finn Balor, Bobby Lashley being 2 of the last 3 matches was not helpful.
Not the way it should have been.
I can feel that main event, that finish of that main event, or maybe just the main event in general, definitely was a backbreaker there, was it, buddy? Because...
I mean, I liked it. I think obviously the finish was fucked, but if you stick that main event literally where the WWE title match was on the card, then people go crazy over it. So, like, you know, I thought it was good. It did what it needed to do.
Yeah, that's fair. Should we go match by match now, like we like to do?
You can feel free to. I think I kind of want to just summarize the show, but I do think we should have go match by match to a degree. But I don't have them in order, so why don't you lead the show?
I do.
Good.
Hark back, if you will, to
a different
hours
era.
Upon hours ago.
Yesterday.
Yes, when
indeed yesterday
we were all much younger, much sprier. And Tony Nese fought Buddy Murphy while we were live still on air.
Yeah, we were still live when this show started.
We were still live.
I thought this was good.
This happened?
I didn't get much of a look at it. It looked good. I liked it. It was fun.
I would agree with that statement. It looked good. I didn't pay too much attention because we were live. It was certainly a match. Okay.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about the Battle Royals.
No, I don't even have...
Foot down.
No. Fuck battle.
Refuse.
Raw Tag Team Titles match was trash.
Yeah, that was fucking abysmal. Like, they didn't even do any fun jomedy spots with it. They were just like, here is a match. I
popped for the finish, though, you know? I'm really hyped.
Yeah. Only way it would have been better is if Michael Cole did his, like, Undertaker voice for Kurt getting the win with, like, the streak is over.
They kind of did do that.
Did he? I don't remember. This was years ago now. Yeah, it was Corey Graves, though, and he was like, the streak is over! Not, like, dramatically at all.
Okay, what was the next match? It was Seth versus Brock, right?
It was Seth versus Brock.
It was a good match.
Proper fun, yeah. Good opener.
It set us up for what was supposed to be, and was, in many ways, a night of redemption.
It was so fun. The first half.
The entire show, booking-wise, is pretty much like exactly what Consensus Wishlist would have been. Surely.
Well, like order or you just mean the finishes?
Booking, yeah. Not just finishes, but also the way they were laid out and stories they were doing.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that, yeah. There is one I would argue, but...
Sure, I mean, give or take, but the big decisions they took. They went...
Are we doing ratings? Do we care?
You can if you want. I rated them. My ratings are going to fluctuate hugely at the moment, so I'm not... I mean, I'll talk about a couple, but you feel free.
I went 3. I thought it was fun.
What did I go? That's all. I went higher. I went a lot higher. I thought it was really good.
A lot higher? Wow.
Yeah, 5. Go 5. It was next match was Orton versus Styles, right?
Yeah.
I think someone on Twitter summed this up very well. AJ Styles is not Christian. It's not 2011. Therefore, this match was bad.
Yep. 1 star.
I think I went lower.
Fuck you, AJ Styles. I blame you. You're the reason this happened. You were too good at one point. They believe they can throw anybody with you, you piece of shit.
What was the next match?
The Usos versus Ricochet and Aleister Black versus The Bar versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev.
This was fun, but not as fun as it needed to be.
I agree.
Next match.
Shane McMahon versus The Miz.
Oh, this match was awesome!
GOAT status! The greatest match I've ever watched ever. It was so fucking fun.
For a very brief period, for about an hour, this was my match of the year.
George Mizanin continues to be my favorite professional wrestler.
There's something very special about this match. About 5 minutes in, I had it down as -5 stars. And as soon as they hit the crowd, it was perfect. It was like, I felt like I was lucid dreaming. Like, as soon as they hit the crowd, they hit every beat perfectly. Shane McMahon hit every story beat for like 10 minutes without fucking anything up. It was dreamland. This match was incredible. This is the type of match like Final Destination and the like hour and a half match that Trevor Lee had from 2016, where it's like, if someone hasn't seen this by the end of the year, I tell them to go watch it because it's an experience.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that at all. It was ridiculously fun, aside from the slower start, but I think the moment that Shane went out of the ring and grabbed Miz's dad, the whole thing... Or no, I guess when the Miz's dad stopped Shane from killing himself, the whole thing just popped off. It was glorious.
Yeah, it was incredible. Like, legit. It was an ironic match of the year for me for about an hour.
Yeah, no, like, I don't care, ironic or not. George Mizanin will never not pop me. He's just such a weird-looking dude. If you're listening to this somehow, George Mizanin, I love you, and I wish you were my father.
I agree. I concur.
Are we all now the sons of George Mizanin?
Well, there were a lot of dads here tonight. So
a lot of dads.
The final spot was fun. I don't give a shit that it was safe. There were some unsafe spots. Miz, I think, hit Shane with like a mini monitor, and then Shane went and did a fucking backflip off a guard railing.
Yeah, he hit the top of a golf cart and then just splatted onto the concrete.
It was like a massive drop. Like it was insane. It was like that was one of the best, like legit one of the best death matches we've had in WWE ever, which is crazy. Like it was great. I loved it. I loved every second of it as soon as it hit the crowd. Legit, if that match had started in the crowd, 5 stars.
Oh, I would have been so much happier if it had just started out in the crowd. And yeah, like, overall though, what'd you rate it, Putty?
4.5.
I gave it 4.25.
Next match. What was the next match?
Bailey and Sasha versus the Iconics versus Nia Jackson, Tamina Snuka versus Beth Phoenix and Natalia Neidhart. Fart.
This was alright. It was fun.
Yep, this indeed happened. It was average.
You liked it.
Kofi Kingston.
Wait, you said
what,
average? You said you liked it.
Yeah, I did 2.25.
Oh, okay. That's below average.
Yeah, but like average. Like 2.25 to like 2.75. That's like average. You know what I mean? Like a little bit worse, a little bit better.
Sure. Yeah, it was fun. Are you sure Kofi versus Bryan was next?
Yep.
Okay. There's a much bigger gap there's a much smaller gap than I remember between the two great matches on this card.
Yeah, no, they were back to back.
Well,
not back to back, but you know, they were one and then the women and then, you know.
So there was a part of me that wanted to give the WWE title match 5. But whenever I have doubts, I'm always like, well, I shouldn't. If I have doubts, then it's not 5.
Yeah, if I agree with that. If there's a doubt, it should be a 5. I ended up going 4.5 on it. Great stuff here. Story stuff worked well. Bryan working his ass off, doing things that we haven't seen from him in the WWE like at all ever. A lot of fun ground grapple stuff. Kofi's fast-paced offense. Pretty nice mesh of...
Kofi was really sloppy.
Yeah, but I think the fact that a lot of his offense is that kind of high-flying stuff, I think it hides it a little bit. It's not obviously obvious that he was super, super sloppy. I wouldn't say so, at least. But, you know, could just be nerves from...
Yeah.
You know. Overall, though, yeah, really, really fucking good match. Match of the night for me, which I predicted. I'm so proud.
Yeah, same. I think. I mean, a few fluctuations, but pretty sure I agree. I was talking, and I think that there was something very special about this match, because there was obviously a lot of circumstances surrounding it, the placement on the card, the story that came before, the mood the crowd were in, that made this a particularly special opportunity to go out there and have a really great match. You know, you don't always get those perfect like the women tonight. They just couldn't have gotten above like a 4.5. The circumstances, they just like it just wasn't there. No matter how great the work was, they were never getting that crowd to the point where they could take it through the pacing they wanted. But this match, and you know, the build wasn't there for that either. So this match was in a position where it had like everything going for it to make a great match. But what happens in the WWE is you have a few of those circumstances every couple of years where you've got really hot crowd, really special environment, but the talent's just not there to make it. Like we had it with Roman in December of like 2015, I think, in Chicago. Like there's a really good opportunity, but the talent just wasn't there to like harness it. Fastlane 2014, maybe 15 again, Roman Bryan, that was an environment to harness like something if you had a different set of talent there. You know, there's a few different opportunities throughout like history where WWE have had, you know, a really interesting situation, but they haven't had the talent to do it. Last time I'd say they did it was Royal Rumble 2007, when the crowd was there and ready to go for it, and Cena was like, yeah, let's turn this into a ridiculously great last man standing match with fucking Umaga. And then, you know, tonight is just this rare opportunity where all the circumstances met, and you also had ROH champion Bryan Danielson deciding to be ROH champion Bryan Danielson. I think this might be the best input he's ever had into a match. He's had better matches, probably, although I'm not sure, honestly. I'm honestly not sure. I've seen a lot of Bryan Danielson matches, and this is up there. Maybe there were a few bits and pieces that were a little loose, and the structure was a little off, so maybe it gets dinged a little here or there. But like, this is one of the best matches he's had, and he pretty much carried 95% of it. So this was a massive performance from him, which was huge. And I was saying earlier that like this is a very special match because Bryan was everything in this match, but he had nothing to do with it. And that's a very special situation to be in. Just
hearing what you said there, yeah, no, you're totally right. Bryan put together so much of that match. So much of it revolved around, obviously, his pacing and him making the calls out there, while at the exact same time, putting all of the shine and all of the attention rightfully on Kofi having his big moment, finally winning. Great fucking stuff.
There's some fucking great near falls in there with the knee.
Oh yeah.
And all of the label locks later in the match were excellently done. Everything great. Just one of those special matches. Like, it had that special quality that I take matches from 4.5 to 4 3/4 on. So yeah, it was one of those matches I'll remember for quite a long time.
You ready to move forward?
Yeah, what's next?
We have Rey Mysterio versus Samoa Joe.
If he's not fucking ready to fight, then just pull the match off the card.
Yeah, out of spite, I gave it a 0. Fuck this. This is dumb. Have Joe fight Ali, you fuckers. Do anything. Anything. Fuck. Anybody else. Kevin Owens, he's there if you didn't want to do Ali. I don't care. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't want to do Ali if Joe's gonna win anyways. Like, literally, like, Ali, Owens, who else you got in there? I'm sure there were enough guys in the Battle Royal on SmackDown side that you could realistically throw in there. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, we bitched and moaned about this for a while, so on the preview show as well, about like how the card has been set up and it's not particularly conducive. So no need to like bash it over the head. If Mysterio wasn't cleared, just fucking pull him and have the
anyone else
have the IC title match be a squash if you want to save time. What's the next match?
Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre.
This was alright, actually. It was fine. Some of the crowd was ready to shit on Roman, which is interesting and something that if I was less tired, I would analyze. But it was alright. Roman is still very good. Drew McIntyre, unfortunately, isn't anymore. Or at least this wasn't the environment for him. It was a rough crowd. They weren't in the right spot. It was okay. I thought it was fine. I thought if given the right crowd, it might be 3.5. It was a lot lower than that. But, like, you know, there was stuff there.
Yeah, I'm not nearly as positive as you. I thought this match was boring as shit. I couldn't name anything that happened from it. Roman won. Okay. The only thing that I kind of got out of it was the commentators continuously putting over Drew McIntyre as if he was supporting cancer or something like that. They were like, he wants to give people cancer. I'm like, oh no. But aside from that, I think it was a piss poor fucking match. I'm sure Roman did fine, but I just bored out of my fucking mind watching this.
Next match.
Triple H versus Batista, no holds barred.
Oh, man. You know what the sad thing about this is? When I said it halfway through the match, the stuff they did was exceptional. They're just really bad.
Yeah, they're just really bad. The spot with the nose ring could have been, like, really fucking cool thing to remember, like, forever in terms of, like, crazy shit at WrestleMania. I won't remember it in 6 months.
I will, but only because Batista fucking it up was hilarious.
Yeah, like... why? I mean, I know why. But God, I wish they didn't.
Yeah, I thought, like, I'm still happy it happened. It was hilarious to me at times. There was some really funny moments.
Ric Flair saved it.
Ric Flair was great. Triple H doing a Superman sledgehammer. Fucking Batista taking about 5 minutes to pick up a set of steel steps was amazing. The commentators putting over that Batista had tactically put steel steps on the comm table when he had just basically collapsed onto there was also hilarious. The spear onto the table was pretty good, in all fairness. The fucking sledgehammer duel at the end was pretty, like, entertaining to me. There was times where, like, the comms were saying, how is Batista still moving? Well, he is not in fact moving, which was very entertaining to me also. I gave it a 0. Wow,
alright. Jeez, I didn't even go that far. Wow. I went with a 1.5, mostly because Ric Flair being there popped me. Batista staring down Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels being there after the
Triple H's
amazing...
dad. Chekhov's Triple H's dad was very disappointing to me.
Batista fucking gets it. Sadly. Like, I don't want to like Batista, I think, because he's a pretty below average professional wrestler, but he gets it, man. He knows what people want to see from him.
That they didn't spend time after the match with Batista, because we may never see him again. Although maybe he'll get something tomorrow night. But there was a lot of times where someone had won a title tonight, or someone was about to retire, and they were just like, onwards to the next match. And for some, half this card was with them going way too fast, and then the other half of this card was them fucking shilling when we're like in the US, you're like after midnight and you're still doing ads for fucking merch. You've got an 8-hour wrestling show. Don't fucking put ads everywhere. I know it's like your big mainstream show, but it's an 8-hour wrestling show.
Yeah.
I give this a 0. Those entertaining with those trash. Next match.
Yeah, next match. Baron Corbin versus Kurt Angle.
Why?
Putty, what's going on there? Check Baron Corbin's heat level. What is it?
No, that can't be.
Oh my god.
It's over 9,000.
Baron Corbin is the most
I don't understand.
heated man alive.
I don't understand. Why? Like, we were talking about this before the show, and I was like, oh, I'm fine. Like, I don't care what happens here because I don't like Kurt Angle. But the way it went down was so strange. So strange. Like, I thought Corbin was winning, but I didn't think there would be no shenanigans. Like, I don't quite understand why. I don't get it.
The only thing I think to say is what you said on the preview show. There are tiers of legends, and Kurt Angle is obviously like a C tier legend.
I don't think for this treatment he's got to be on the shit list of legends at this point.
He's pissed off Vince McMahon somehow. I'm not gonna lie when I say I'm glad I won't be forced to see Kurt Angle, hopefully, wrestle ever again. Because, god damn.
It's just so surreal and strange. They treat him like they respect him on the show. And they have him go out to Baron Corbin, who, look, we like. He's a friend of the show.
Yes.
We could say.
Friend of the show,
Friend of the show, Baron Corbin. But if he has a WWE title match or Universal title match in the next 2 years, I will be shocked.
Did you hear JBL on commentary?
I tried not to.
He went into overdrive. Was like, Baron Corbin, he's got all the tools to become a world champion. I think he'll be world champion in 9 months. I'm telling you right now, guys. Baron Corbin is the future of this company. Baron Corbin is the most charismatic man in the history of wrestling. Like, he went into full shill mode for Baron Corbin, and from the outset, that made me go, oh no. Wait a minute. Oh no.
There was one very historic thing to happen during this match, or after this match, I should say. And that is...
Did Baron Corbin shit himself or something?
No. Kurt Angle became the out-and-out holder of a particular record of mine. He was tied before tonight, but he has now got the most Putty-rated 0-star matches of the 2010s.
Kurt Angle.
With 6.
Congratulations. You were good for like 3-4 years maximum, and you've been riding it since, buddy. It's gonna catch up eventually.
I bet you're really, really, really sorry you took those drugs. So, next match.
Finn Balor versus the almighty Bobby Lashley.
This was very close to a 0.
Why the fuck did all of these matches go back to back to back to back? Fuck all of these people. I hate them.
I I really think they should have just had Bobby win and retire the demon thing forever.
I hate the demon as an idea, but if you're gonna use it, why are you not protecting it? Like, they were like, he's gonna be the demon! He's never been the demon for, like, long time!
Also, I like how the big thing that he did in this match, because he was the demon, was a powerbomb.
They were like, he powerbombed Bobby Lashley! Wow! Bobby Lashley is, like, he's a big ripped man, but he's not, like, he didn't, like, powerbomb Big Show or something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Even then, it wasn't like he picked him up and just, like, fucking dropped him or something like that. Like, he like, picked him up and was like, whoa, shit, and then kind of put him down. Like, I hate wrestling, I think. After this second half of the card.
So, we've only got one match left, right?
Yeah, we do.
So let's talk, before we talk about that match, about the Elias segment.
Oh, yes. The saving grace of the second half. Do you want me to run it down, or? So Elias appears on the Titantron, and he's playing the drums. And then he appears playing the piano, and we realize that there are Eliases, and they've on the piano and the drums, and then there's a third Elias, and he's in the ring with the guitar, and so they play a little bit. He plays Seven Nation Army, which, like, really, really big pop for that.
Yeah, cold and audible.
Yeah. Why is he not a face? Just genuinely, like,
well, he can be for you if you want him to be.
He's so fucking over with people.
I think the real face is the friends we made along the way.
The real face is Ronda Rousey. But anyways, Elias then gets prepared, and all of a sudden on the Titantron, they start playing, like, old baseball footage, and my mind instantly jumped to, is it Chikara, where their, like, main guy now is, like, a baseball player? And I was like, what the fuck is this? And so, in a long...
it was late. I heard the words Chicago. I thought it was Punk.
I said Chikara, but close enough.
No, the other team in that footage was Chicago.
You thought it was Punk? You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And
then I realized that the footage wasn't about Chicago; it was about the other team. So I lost interest.
Yeah, I didn't know what the fuck it was about. I thought it was about Bray Wyatt at first, because I just saw black and white, and I was like, well, that's Bray Wyatt, I think,
and when
right?
you said that, I was thinking to myself, please no. And I was pleasantly surprised. So I started off thinking it was Punk, and then you mentioned Wyatt, and my expectations just plummeted. So I was very happy that it wasn't Bray Wyatt. Because
and so
Bray Wyatt. The only way this card could have been, I'm not, like, that sounds harsh, because I actually think this was a great WrestleMania. We're gonna get to that in a second. But
same.
This fucking, if Bray Wyatt was on it, it would have been awful.
But in a weird, contrived way, you were supposed to know, I guess, that it was John Cena, because he wore the jerseys of basketball players when he was the Doctor of Thugonomics, so naturally, baseball. Oh, right, that's John Cena.
No, I don't think it was about, I think it was about, I think there was something about a curtain call and about someone who was really good coming back for round 2, stuff like that. So
no, it was Babe Ruth and him calling his shot, so to
but
speak.
then at the end they said curtain call in round 2.
I thought it was more about, like, Babe Ruth being known as the GOAT of baseball and John Cena being the GOAT of professional wrestling in kayfabe.
Yeah, it was about that, but also about Babe Ruth having a round 2 and a curtain call.
I don't even know if that happened or not, and I think I know things about baseball. Ugh.
Also,
so anyways,
I saw on the Twitter that apparently Babe Ruth was a special guest referee in a few matches in the 40s.
It was Babe Ruth back from the grave. John Cena, he's the master of thugonomics, and he comes out.
Doctor, good sir, that man did not work hard for a doctorate for you to call him the master of thugonomics.
The bastard. He comes out and he says that Elias looks like his nuts, but he's got a bigger bush, and then hits him with an FU and leaves.
Like, I know this was fan service, but I really hope that he keeps doing this.
I'd hope so. Listen, I undersold it a lot because it was actually a lot of fun at the time, and I was really, really freaking out. I was really, really happy to see Cena do anything. But I'm still holding out on that Elias Rock match at some point. You will put him over, Dwayne. You're going to do it. I don't know when it is, but you'll do it, you son of a bitch. I know who you are.
You're a big fan of Elias. Surely you never want him to step inside a ring again.
No, but I think that would mean
He's
a lot.
He's going to host WrestleMania next year. Just needs to stay on his current trajectory.
WrestleMania pirate ship.
Yeah, fucking can't wait for champ Becky Lynch versus Kairi Hojo in the main event next year. Gonna be lit.
Be better than this year's main event.
This main event was fine, right?
No.
I could tell. I sensed when we hit like a couple minutes before the main event. I could sense Tucker's inner demons riling up. He was like, you know what, these women, they really shouldn't be in the main event. And he got really crabby.
Yeah, because I'm going to be honest, they shouldn't have been in the main event. Are we moving on to this match now?
I guess.
Why did this go on last, aside from the press? Well, the press.
Because the biggest natural growing star over the last 6 months against the biggest non-natural external star and the biggest pushed star in the division, with no other match having enough build to go on last. The month and a half build you're about to mention.
You otherwise.
Oh yeah, because that match would have gotten the same reaction if it had gone on last. That's definitely a great idea. Ruin that match, why don't you?
Listen, man, you're getting one or the other.
So why don't you do this? You get the great match you like so much, and
all right,
you get all the
here we go. Let me explain this. Doing double spots for an entire match doesn't make a match good. I can't tell you how many times Charlotte hit a double spear or hit a double natural selection. Becky continuously looked like she was waiting for somebody else to come do something with her. One example I can think of actually was a double spear when she went to put Ronda in the disarmor, and they both just kind of stood there for a minute and went, where the fuck is Charlotte? Where the fuck is Charlotte? And kind of stood there and stood there. Oh, there's Charlotte with the double spear. I think that the close call thing didn't work until all of a sudden it didn't work so much that the actual ending was dumb as fuck, and I'll get to that. Ronda, I think, oddly for me in this match, was clearly the most fluid one out there. She had a really great moment with the table, knocking the table away. Tables are for bitches. Charlotte looked like she struggled to even lock in the figure 4, figure 8. She couldn't get her leg hooked properly a whole bunch of times.
They were all working legs the entire match, to be fair.
The table didn't break after... I mean, maybe that's karma. Like, she said tables were for bitches, and the table was like, I'll show you.
Wait, the one in the corner broke?
Barely. Like, went like, eh.
God, okay. You get so crabby when women main event.
No, I wouldn't have been if I felt like it, like, really mattered. But, God, this felt fucking awful. I'm so upset about it, too, because I really wanted to really care about this a lot, because I've really liked Becky for the past little bit, up until they completely kind of nose-bombed her momentum. And this match happened. It definitely did happen. The finish was so fucking stupid. The commentators instantly were like, I don't know if Ronda's shoulders were down. And I'm like, that's how you build a new fucking megastar, you fucking morons.
I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that wasn't the intended finish.
Yeah, I would get that vibe as well. I'm not going to lie.
In my mind, there's absolutely no way. The ref was supposed to start counting when he counted the second. And it was supposed to be a 2 count.
That would make sense, because otherwise, I don't see any reason to ever watch this match again, ever, aside from historic.
Well, when you're less tired in the morning and you can watch it with a little bit more clarity and realize how much better it is than you think it is, then that's probably a good reason to watch it again. It's no classic, but it was never going to be. It's this fucking triple threat with these three, who have the chemistry of about a rock between them. It was not meant to be a classic, and it did exactly what it was supposed to do. And if you had put any of the other matches that were featured on this card in this slot, it would have been a lot worse for everybody involved.
You could argue that, and I can't go against you with that, because the crowd was dead as fuck. But I think that even removed from the crowd, this was sloppy as shit.
So was Kofi Bryan. It was still great.
Yeah, I guess because that had the crowd to help it out.
No, because sloppiness isn't really that big of a deal.
Well, I argued sloppiness wasn't that big of a deal in that match, because Kofi's offense kind of leans into that. He's supposed to be frenetic pace. He's supposed to just hit people with shit and then think later.
Well,
where I think
I kind of argue the opposite, that when you're a high flyer and a work fast guy, you kind of live and breathe on your crispness. But
yeah,
that's why Chris Jericho sucks.
I don't know. Like, I just feel so dissatisfied with this main event. I think that there was so much more here that could have been, and the fact that it wasn't kind of upsets me a lot, because I did not want to like this match. I did not want to like this match.
I don't know, man. It doesn't feel like that, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. You checked out pretty early.
You can believe that, and you can feel that, and
you
whatever.
were posting rain pics to me, like the first minute of the match, and you weren't saying anything in some of the earlier matches that were important.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to watch it again, but watching it, and it might just be, it's an 8-hour fucking show. Nothing should go this long. Oh my god, why? Oh my god, why? But I really feel like they disappointed tonight, all three of them, except for Ronda, who was like really pretty solid tonight. But yeah, WrestleMania, folks. WrestleMania.
A little more optimistic than Tucker on the last match. Like I said, I think it did exactly what it needed to do, and they've got something really special on their hands going forward. And if they fuck it up, then they fuck it up. But tonight was a pass on the important notes. And there were a couple of ways they could have approached the whole show. And like I mentioned earlier, they went with a Night of Redemption idea, fan goodwill, kind of clean slate. And again, they could fuck it up, but they really do have a clean slate going forward now, and they have a lot of opportunities. It's a very hard show to evaluate, because I actually, I don't think the show went too long as a viewer, but it went too long for the crowd. And that's something that kind of hit me reading other people's takes on this show. Because I was never one of the guys that was like, oh, shows are too long. Because I can watch, I watch fucking marathon shows of G1 sometimes when I've missed a few days. I'll watch like 8 hours of wrestling in a day and it's fine. But for the actual crowd, they can't do 8 hours, and that's a big deal. And that affects a lot of the matches. I mean, stadium shows suck. Yeah, it's hard to actually have like good matches, and then some of these matches, like legit, you take like the top 2 matches on this card right now as things stand before rewatches are literally there are 3 cards in the history of US wrestling that I have on the level of those top 2 matches, and it's X7, Our Evolution, and SummerSlam 13. Like, those are the only cards that I would say rank up to, like, the top 4 matches on this card. But it has 2 zeros and 3 other matches that are in the 0 range. It was a 16 match card where 8 of the matches were a high end, literally best US card ever contender, and then the other 8 were absolute dreck. And yeah, you know, if your expectations were in the right place, I think you generally enjoyed the evening. And it was a really good show. I don't know if I would call it the best Mania in recent years, because there's been some really tight shows recently. But Reigns not going on last this time really helps, because it did end positively. You know, whether or not, like, obviously the botched finish obviously affects things, but it's a lot better than Trips Roman or Brock Roman or Brock Roman or what's the other one? Taker Roman.
Oh, Brock Roman. Oh.
Obviously the Seth finish was also interesting, but that, in hindsight, looks a lot worse. Yeah, it was a really good show if you were into it. If you weren't starting the show at 12 midnight in your country, and a good taste for Americans about what everybody else has had to do for the last fucking 10 years watching those shows. Oh, they're like, oh, it's almost midnight. It's 7 a.m., you bastard. So yeah, it was certainly good, and they gained a lot.
Good.
They gained a lot tonight. They just need to. I think they need to rethink their stadium shows.
Yeah, I think they're never a good idea. This show, I had a ton of fun watching it. Some of the most fun I've ever had watching a WrestleMania now in my 8 years of watching pro wrestling. Which, yes, if you do the math, that means my first Mania was 27. Oh, how am I a wrestling fan? A lot of fun. A lot of stuff I really, really enjoyed for both the right and wrong reasons. Only a handful of things that I just don't think delivered as much as they should have. I'm not saying, when I say the stuff that I said earlier, I'm not saying that Lynch, Rousey, Flair is like the worst match ever. The worst match on this card. You know, any of those things that, you know, it could possibly be interpreted as. I just wanted more, I think. I felt like it was sloppy a little bit. But, you know, I just expressed that. Overall, though, a lot of fun. WrestleMania 35 is... it's an enjoyable show, I think, to all kinds of fans. Like I mentioned on NXT, if you watch this show, you'll probably find something you like. And I would say the exact same thing about WrestleMania, but there's even more for you to possibly like, so that's almost a given.
It's a lot harder to sit down and watch stuff. Just watch. If you're gonna watch the show, watch Brock Seth, Miz, Shane, Brian, Kofi, and the main event.
Well, depending on what type of fan you are, you know what I mean? Because if you're looking for Triple H versus Batista, you're gonna watch Triple H.
I don't think anything else even excels in its genre. If you want to watch a fast, exciting tag team multi-man match, or just fast, exciting tag team match, you're better off going and watching the Takeover one than the SmackDown tag team match.
Yeah, that's fair.
If you're into that kind of bullshitty, melodramatic, sports entertainment, smoke and mirrors stuff that Batista Triple H did, just go watch the Takeover main event. If you're interested, what was the other matches on the card that might be redeemable?
Balor, Lashley, maybe.
No.
Women's tag, maybe.
No.
AJ Orton, maybe.
No.
Nice Murphy.
Oh yeah, but it's not. If you're gonna go watch, like, if you want to watch a Buddy Murphy match, there are better options. I wouldn't recommend going and watching that either.
That's pretty much it.
So you come to agreement. You've come to agreement with my original statement.
With your original statement, what was your original statement?
Don't watch the show. Watch Brock, Seth, Miz, Shane, Kofi, Brian, and
yeah. I meant if you're going, if you're just watching particular matches, then of course. But if you were to sit down and want to put on a wrestling show, and WrestleMania 35 was there, I would say don't totally exclude it. There's some good stuff, some genuinely good stuff, some totally just insane stuff. There's some jomedy stuff. There's some absolute proper garbage. And there's Baron fucking Corbin.
Yeah, I guess I'll start by saying that I kind of disagree. I think if you do want to sit down and watch a wrestling show, there are way better ways to spend 8 hours of your life. Don't watch this show.
Oh, there certainly is.
Don't watch this show.
Don't watch this show.
Watch specific matches from this show. If you're going to watch one wrestling show from this weekend, don't make it be this one. Go watch something else.
No.
There are 4 matches you should watch from this show. Don't watch the show. Don't watch this show. Don't watch this show. What a waste of a weekend. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time.